doing on this wonderful Sunday afternoon?
Good, cousin.
Feel free to use the chat at any time if you want to talk, you know, praise me and all that kind of stuff. But so I wanted to, I published the book 2 years ago, Bittersweet Struggles. I figured this is the perfect time to try a book signing, doing a virtual book signing, which I've never done before. So I'm excited about it. So what's going to happen is we're going to have some games and prizes, and then I'm going to read a few passages in the book, and you know, just feel free to ask me questions about what I've read or anything about the book or anything like that. And so for the folks that change their names to their favorite TV character, movie character, or in a book, I'm gonna ask you a little bit about them, and you can just give me a brief statement. So, and if you haven't changed your screen name because you can or whatever, just like raise your hand and let me know that you have a character in mind that you want to explain really quick. We're gonna start with some games, a real quick game. So I'm gonna give the first prize to Tyson. Where are you? Are you there?
I'm right here. What did I get?
All right.
What did I win? Yay!
All right. Yay! All right, so Tyson, I want you to pick a number from 1 to 16. Ooh, I got more people coming in. 1 to 16.
I'm gonna pick the number 6 because on the 6th day God made man. So let's go with the number 6.
All right, so number 6 is Tamika. So Tamika, you are a winner. So Tyson, you will receive a $25 gift card from Amazon. And Tamika, I'm gonna mail you out a shirt. Can you see my shirt? Can you see my shirt?
That's nice.
That is nice. Very nice.
Yes, so I want to do a quick game. I didn't want to drag it out. So Tyson and Tamika, just send me your addresses. Email me. No. I just need your email address, Tyson, and then Tamika, just send me your address, okay? All right, look at that. First thing on Sunday, you won a prize. So I'm going to read a passage from my book. And then you can ask questions if you want, and we'll go from there. I'm sure everybody on here has my book, so. All right, here we go. Everybody, hold on, there's people still coming in. Okay. Thank you. Oh yeah, hi Em. Nice to see your face. Ah, thank you. Have you read any? Evening? Okay. All right, so just like in church, I'm on chapter 3, page 18. I went back downstairs to visit with my family a little more and then go to the store for my sister. So as I walked into the kitchen, I saw a familiar face. A sense of happiness came over me. I stopped for a second just to take him in. Someone called my name, snapping me out of my daydream. It was my cousin, and she walked over to give me a hug, but I didn't take my eyes off Chris. When he saw me, a big smile came across his face, and we began to walk towards each other. I pushed my cousin aside, and by the time I let her go, he was right there. We looked into each other's eyes, and he bent down and gave me the tightest hug ever. It was just like I remembered, a firm hug that was so inviting. The smell of his cologne, the movement of his hands on my back, all I could think was, take me now. He grabbed my hand and led me out to the backyard. As we were walking out, As we were walking out, I gestured to everyone that I would be right back. Look at you, Chris said as he looked me up and down. Yeah, look at me, just like wine, right? I said with a playful giggle. How are you, Chris? I'm doing well. Yes, you are. And I said that with wide eyes. How are your wife and kids? They're doing well, and actually I have another one on the way. I heard, for some reason, people feel obligated to tell me, you know, to inform me about your life. That's funny because I get the same thing when it comes to you. I guess people still hold on hope for us. Seems that way, he responded, staring directly into my eyes. His eyes stayed locked on me as if he didn't want to miss a moment. I'm so sorry to hear about your mother. She was so funny and always treated me like a son. Please don't tell my brother. Make sure don't let him hear you say that. But we all have to go sometime, right? I said with a nervous giggle. I know what you went through with your family, so you don't have to be uncomfortable around me. I just don't know what to feel. I loved her because she was my mother, but I wish she gave me more of her. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have read that one. Thanks, Ma. That was right on point. My sister's upstairs being dramatic, but I just can't play that role right now. I almost forgot. I almost forgot. I have to go to the store for her to get some medicine because she has a migraine. So, are you going to be here when I get back? I'll go with you. I'll go with you because I don't know how much time we're going to have together. You'll probably be too busy and forget all about me. Never. Well, let me run upstairs and get my purse. Chris is my brother's friend, and he and I created a seemingly unbreakable bond over the years. Many people thought that he and I had something going on, but we didn't, at least not in the beginning. We truly enjoyed each other's company, offered each other advice, and listened to each other. Most importantly, we shared so much laughter between us. Then one day, everything changed. I was going into the last year of my college, and Chris was working on his master's. That summer, we saw each other at almost every party in town, and we ended up at each other's functions as well. It just seemed so natural for us to be together. Whenever we saw each other, it was as if no one else mattered, and we would often walk away and get as much time with each other as possible. Woo. All right, that was the end of my first reading. Thank you for your patience. I know I was a little nervous, but that was fun. Does anybody have any questions for me? About anything. It doesn't have to be necessarily about that.
No questions?
No questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
How long did it take you to write the book?
4 years.
4 years.
It
Okay.
took 4 years to write the book, yes.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What was your biggest concern writing this book?
My biggest concern writing the book was putting some of my personal information in it. And some people know about it, and most don't, but yeah. And then also, back to Tracy's point, it took me 4 years because I kept stopping and kind of changing direction. And I knew that also, in order for it to be successful for me, I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm crying.
It's all right, Mo. Take your time.
I have a question.
Wait, I'm not done yet, Ma.
Oh,
In order for it to be successful for me, I knew I had to put some of my personal information in there, and it was also a part of therapy as well. So.
Can I piggyback on that before the young lady asks a question?
Yeah, give me 1 sec. 1 sec.
she's crying.
Aw.
Tyson, you said you had another question?
Yeah. What was your most liberating moment after you wrote this, and being as transparent as you have been? What was your most liberating moment?
The most liberating moment. Oh. I guess there was actually more than one. Obviously, when I finished it, it felt amazing. It felt amazing. When I put some of my personal stories in there, it helped me, actually figure some things out. So, there were so many different moments that, made me feel good and helped me move on to the next chapter. So it's not just one thing, it was several things throughout writing the book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rosalie, you had a question? That's my mother, everybody, who doesn't know.
Which character am I?
You've been wanting to know that. That's fun. Oh, God. That was a good question. You are, some of the things that you've done, you are Morgan's mother, but of course you're not dead. But I just took some things, from your, personality and life, stuff like that.
You mean like when I killed my first husband?
She didn't do that. Don't listen to her, y'all. That was the. Oh no!
can't.
I'm officially done with y'all. I'm
If you
done.
read the book, she didn't physically kill him. Nope. She had a hand in it.
Don't tell me, girl.
Look, I told her that before. But anyway, moving on. Love you, Ma. We have that relationship. She's good.
Monika,
Yes.
who's Tyson?
Tyson.
Yes.
Oh, up at the top. He Tyson is a friend. You don't know him. He's not from Scotch Plains.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a question. Where is Chris now?
Oh, I don't know. That might be in book 2. Ronnie.
Okay.
That was funny.
Yes, I have had people ask me if I was going to write a sequel to it, and I have absolutely no idea if I am or not. But Veronica, did you finish the book? I'm putting you on the spot.
Sadly, I have not finished the book yet, but you know why I was having difficulty with it.
Yes.
And your crying here just solidifies how I was feeling.
Do you want to tell us why you didn't finish it?
Well, as I said, I felt like I was like a voyeur, like I was looking in at your life, like I was seeing things that I shouldn't see about you. It made me feel uncomfortable. Made me feel a little uncomfortable.
Okay. All right. And she's actually the first published book that I signed.
Okay.
Right. That was. I don't think that was published yet. So you have a rare. Yes, Tracy, you have a rare.
Yeah,
version.
sure.
Don't get rid of that. It's even a different cover. She also has a different cover.
I have a question.
Who's that? D?
Yeah.
Wait. Where are you? Okay, go ahead.
Do Chris know that he's in the book?
Very good question. Well, Chris is actually made up of different men, not just one. Yes, he's made up of different men.
Okay.
So, great question though. Great question. So really quick, I'm going to switch it to the audience, and I want to know who Savannah is.
Oh.
I see
Mary,
Savannah on.
Let me come off of mute. So Savannah is from Waiting to Excel. Terry McMillan was one of my favorite authors. And that was Whitney Houston's role in the book. But I don't know why I always go back to that line when her mother's like, he's a good man, Savannah. But because it takes us back to sometimes mothers think we're supposed to be with people just to have a man or for the sake of a man. He was a good man because he was around, but he was married. So,
Right.
yeah. But that was one of my favorite characters in the book, just the whole series of Waiting to Excel. So
Okay.
that's the name I picked.
Thank you.
And also because I love his voice, Dennis Haysbert, who played that role, the Allstate man.
Oh yes, he has a great voice. So Dee, before everybody else got on, Dee was one of the 3 people on, and she got the book, and she was giving me a review. So I just wanted everybody to hear it. So I should say Morgan. Morgan, you want to tell us about the review?
Okay, so a couple of things I would like to say about the review. So actually the book came yesterday. I'm up to chapter 10, so I have to start chapter 10. The book is actually really good. I haven't read in years. So yeah. So for me to be able to pick up this book and continue to read it, to me is one of these books where even if you have something to do, you still are rushing to continue to read where you finish off at. To me, Ashley, also too, when I was reading the book, to be honest with you, I saw each one of your family members, like things. Now, I'll be honest with you, because I know your family, but I don't know of things that goes on in household. So to be honest with you, when I was reading it, I saw each character as each person. Everyone has been holding my attention, the relationship between you and Chris. But it's just a really good book, and I can't wait to finish to read the rest of it though. Yeah, so it's really good. Did you want me to say why I picked Morgan also too?
Yes, that was going to be my next question.
So The reason why I picked Morgan, because a couple reasons. Because with Morgan, to me, I feel as though she's a person who she doesn't express herself much. And I saw myself. And again, this is where I'm at so far. So I don't know what's going to happen along the way. Also too, it's like feelings that she may have for someone, once it gets too deep, is like, oh, let me leave this, because I don't know what's going to happen. Let me just completely just shut down. I'm done, period.
Right.
So that's why I picked Morgan, because some of the things that I saw that Morgan was going through, I saw in myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you reading the book to Sherrod, or is he just, what happened? What happened? What happened?
Oh, yeah. That's how it started today. I said, how's the book? She said, it's good. I said, what's it about? And she told me a little bit about it. I'll get to it.
Okay, great. Love it, love it, love it.
Ashley!
Hey, Ash. Welcome, welcome. Oh, and also, before we go any further, I have to thank, very deeply, I have to thank Tracy and, and I have to thank Ashley, because these are the two people that read my book before I published it. Because I wanted them to look through it just to see if everything flowed right. And no pressure on them, though. I was just like, just let me know if you see any little things. So, they gave me the feedback, and I was able to, make the corrections and adjustments. So thank you guys. Sometimes you just need a second and third pair of eyes to
Stop crying.
I know. Hey,
This
Rich,
is
how are you? Did you pick a character, Rich? No? You quiet? Okay. Who is the Godfather? Who's not? We can't hear you.
That would be me.
Oh.
Well,
The Godfather. This is Kevin, everyone.
yes.
Oh.
And
Well-
so, why did you pick the Godfather?
I picked the Godfather because he was a man of power.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very advocate chess player, and he destroyed people's lives. But he was a businessman, and so I mimicked that in real life. And I too come from a place of dysfunction, and you have to express yourself. And I appreciate the book. We talk a lot, and I have my own bittersweet issues that I need to expose. You talked to me about writing the book and stuff like that, and I have transformed over the 30 years of my life, and it has been a struggle. There has been a struggle, and my daughter said, she said, "Dad, you have such an amazing story. You should write a book. You should write a book." And so certain things that I don't like to watch on TV because it wasn't a fantasy for me. It was for real. It was real life. And so when you come from that kind of place and you come from a dysfunction, unmanageability, a horrible household, and I'm going to say horrible, in spite of the TVs and the carpet and the cars and all of that, it was fucked up. It was fucked up. And so to be able to be alive, it's a plus. And I've created a company that I want to expose, and I'm going to share it with the world, because if I could change, anybody could change. And I want to say thank you. I love you, Mo. I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you. I admire you, and I'm also your cheerleader, and I believe in you, and I want to just wish you the best.
Thank you, babe. Thank you. Woo! I know. Next time I'm gonna have on the invite, I'm gonna put bring tissues.
I know. That had me crying.
me too.
Really good.
Woo! All right. Let's see here. What are we gonna do next? I'm just gonna read another passage, and we're just gonna keep it flowing. Woo! All right. The night continued on as it did every night this week. And it was time to get ready for the big day tomorrow, the funeral. As I aimlessly cleaned up with my brother and sister, the house seemed eerily quiet. We weren't talking to each other, and I guess we realized that all the distractions this week kept us from the deep thought of my mother's death. Once everything was done, we all had the same idea of getting a drink and sitting in the dimly lit living room. Well, this is it. Mommy's gone to the upper room, I said with an Eddie Murphy voice. Do you ever stop joking? My sister asked, not really expecting an answer. Well, how do you guys feel about tomorrow? I asked. I know you have some fond memories about Mother. Why don't you share, Darren? He thought for a few seconds. Nope, sorry, can't think of one. Well, she did pick you up from jail, and one time, that time you and your friend broke into the school. Jeanette, how about you? I know you have some good memories of Mommy. She helped me out a lot. I mean, she could be angry and bitter, but she did help me out. Morgan, you know, she helped you out also. She took a sip of her drink, waiting for me to say something. She helped me out a lot with the girls, but her anger and bullying certainly tainted our relationship. But now she's at peace. She had a hard life, and some of it was self-inflicted. And she would blame everyone but herself for her scars. She was definitely good at playing the victim. I'm sure she is up there or gesturing down there. And then my brother and I looked at each other and burst out laughing, suggesting that she went to the other direction. I'm just kidding, I said at the end of my outburst. I'm sure she's up there now, complaining that we gave her a heart attack. But on the flip side, she did always have a meal on the table when we were growing up. She washed our clothes and cleaned the house. In the end, we have to appreciate her for the things that she did, because we certainly weren't the most well-behaved kids. Speak for yourself, Jeanette chimed in. You and Darren weren't well-behaved. You two would play around the house too damn much and would always make too much noise when you were younger. And when Mommy and Daddy would leave the house for hours, it just got worse. Hey, we were kids. We were just playing our role, I pleaded. I walked over to my brother and gave him a high five. If you were my kids, I would just abandon your asses, Jeanette said. Damn, Jeanette, that's harsh. Remind me to call Child Protective Services when you have kids. I still have that number on speed dial. Hurry. If you read the book, you would know. Anyway, here's a crazy thought. We are parentless. Darren realized. There was a long pause and we avoided eye contact. That would have been really great about 30 years ago, Darren added, and we all bursted out laughing. I laughed because it was funny and also because he beat me to the punch. I had tears coming down my face. I was laughing so hard. At first, the tears falling down my cheeks were from laughter, and then after a moment from sadness. The only thing you could hear between my brother, sister, and I were sniffling noses and cracked throats. There were no comforting words or reassuring hugs. We wiped our tears in silence. This is why I can't do book signings. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about the passage or anything at all? I'm an open book.
Who's Thomas?
Karima, Thomas is made up of different people. He's not just one person. He's made up of different people. You keep asking me that. You've been asking me that for like 2 years. Who's Thomas? That's who he is. So, but yeah, so what I do when I build a character, I don't just think of, oh, this person, this is the person I want to write about. I pull from other people in my life. So like this guy could have done this guy did that. So I'll pull different situations from other characters, not necessarily a guy from any character. I'll pull different situations and then just create this one character. So that was fun doing, because I was like, oh, this is a good situation. That was fun. So building the book was actually really, really fun. There's some tears and everything, but it was fun doing. And I'm actually working on a second one right now. Don't ask me when it's going to be out, because I don't know. Hi, Monica.
My statement.
Go ahead, Rosalie. Yes.
It sounds.
Tegan, you look just like your mother.
It sounds like there's no love in the city.
There there's some love. You have to read the book. It might not be all through there, but there's some love.
It seemed like everything originated in the Scotch Plains.
I don't know what else you want me to tell you. That's where I grew up. So I had to pull from certain situations from my life. I mean, you were there. Did you read the book, Rosalie?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, you have time.
Okay. Yeah, I do.
All right. Any other questions? Comments, outbursts?
So what is your writing process like? What does that mean to you?
You stole my question, Tracy. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I really do not have one. I'll just get up and write if I feel like it, which is why it took me 4 years. But then also, like, let's say I was sitting down watching TV, or I was in the bed late, and there was just be this nagging feeling like, get up and write. You don't know how many times where I said to myself, oh, I'm not going to finish it. And I'll push it to the side for like days, even weeks. And then it would just like nag me. So then I would get up and start writing. And so, I was always in a great place when I'm writing. So yeah, that's what helped me get through. Just like enjoying it, number one, and the nagging feeling that I need to complete it. And I was just thought that, okay, like 5 years from now, even if I write a page a day or 2 pages, whatever, it'll be done. It'll eventually be done. So that's what like really kept me going. Like I can do it. And so I just continue to try.
And as a follow-up to that, I would say I used to get mad at you sometimes when I would invite you to things and you couldn't come. But I know what the end process was and what you were doing now, because you were being focused. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't tell anybody. I don't even know. And Justine, she would come in my room, and she'd, because Ashley was whoever, I don't know, college or Delaware, wherever she was. Justine stayed with me after, Ashley left me. I digress. But anyway, Justine would come in my room like, Mom, what you doing? And like, she would come over by me, and I would like close the computer down or switch screens, and she would notice that. So she would look at me like, what you doing? It's like, nothing. I was just working. And knowing, I didn't have a job that made me work outside of, my hours, that's what I was doing. I was sneaking around writing a book.
I have a question.
Okay.
So how was that process of you being able to get your book for Amazon to sell your book? And are you going through any other outlets to get, anyone else to be able to, where you can sell your books also?
Well, as I was writing the book, I had no idea how I would get it published. I just knew I wanted to and had to write a book. And so towards maybe like the last year or so, I was, started looking around, and then I saw that Amazon, because I wasn't a big shopper, so I knew really nothing about Amazon. I never went on Amazon. And so, I saw that they published books. I don't even know how I saw it. I guess I was just like, just Google and stuff, and it popped up. So when I went to Amazon, they pretty much did everything, the editing, the rewriting, the first book cover you saw that Tracy put up. They, what else? They wrote the back cover. So I gave them all of the information. So what they did was I filled out, this application, and they told me to write as much as you can about the book, all the detail that you want to be seen, like on the back cover or, for marketing purposes. So I was like, now I have to rewrite the book, but I had to write like main parts of the book, and Amazon put it all together. Now, about 2 months before I was going to publish, they were shutting it down. So it was, and I was still like back and forth whether or not I wanted to publish it. And so, because I was nervous. And so they said, you have 2 months to decide whether or not you're going to publish this or not. So I was just like waiting. And it almost was not published because I was so nervous about what was in the book, and, people were going to get mad at me or whatever. But finally, I was just like, whatever, hit the send button, like, yeah, publish it. So Amazon no longer has that program because you can get it from different places a little more affordable than what they were charging. But they no longer have that program. But it was a great program. You'd send it to one person, and whatever department they send it to, it was just being handled. So that was like a blessing. Now you gotta like keep searching and picking and choosing your editor, your book cover, your this and that and this and that. So, but there's a lot more options out there now than there were before. Anything else? Justine? Oh, Tracy took your question.
Yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Now that you have this platform, what's next?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I'm working on different things. I created a business called Designing Culture. And so what it is me reaching out to entrepreneurs or people that are doing things to change others' lives, or even if they've changed their life. So I'm reaching out to people that are just like kind of starting at the beginning. You know how you have your regular magazines, Ebony and all of that. You see everybody that's already made it, but you don't see the come up. So that's what I'm doing. I'm reaching out to folks and just kind of, discussing with them what is their process to get where they're going. Because we all need to know, we all need help. Like I didn't know anybody that wrote a book. I was just sitting there fumbling and bumbling through it all. But now I can reach out to people because, when you talk to people, they'll tell you their whole life story. And someone might have a connection and this and that. So, what was I gonna say? Drawing a blank. But anyway, the end of the answer. Any other questions? I'm drawing a blank. I'm talking so much.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
CJ has his hand raised.
Who?
He already asked the question.
I want a question. I have a question.
Tyson, did I answer your question? I'm sorry, before I move on.
You absolutely did. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Because sometimes I'll talk and I'm like, what the hell was the question? Because I talk too much. Ashley, go ahead.
All right. When writing, I lost my question. Hold on.
Like mother, like daughter. Love ya. Thanks.
So was writing this book a bittersweet struggle?
Yes, it was. It was. It absolutely was. It was. And I didn't come up with the title until the last year that I was writing the book. I was trying to figure things out and just throw titles out there. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to throw them out anymore. It'll come to me. So yeah, the last year I was like, because we had good times and bad times. I can, could be 60-40 some days, 50-50 other days.
Justin.
70-30. Did I do the math right with all that? But yeah, it was.
Mommy, mute your mic, please.
I'm using the mic.
No, you're not. Somebody help me. So you have, is there a sequel on the way?
Not on the way. I don't know if I'm going to write another one. I don't know.
Why not?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Rosalind.
I have a suggestion.
Go ahead.
Today is Don Lemon's, he's on the New York Times bestseller list, #1 book. Maybe all of your folks should reach out to Don to congratulate him, and maybe he might mention your book, Don Lemon.
Thank you, Rosalie.
All right.
Her friends were CNN, Erica from All My Children, One Life to Live. Those were her friends and family growing up. Okay? Fox News, Sue Simmons, all of them. She knows more about them than she does me. Thank you.
Wow.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I want to ask you a question. So
Okay.
now that you've written the book, and from my understanding, it's basically about your life, and you just change the characters and names and all that good stuff. So how has this book transcend, and how has it changed, if any, your bittersweet struggles?
Ooh,
So like for instance, I know that I came from a dysfunctional household where it was alcohol and drugs and violence, blah blah blah. It's a lot of stuff, and so, but I had to get therapy.
Right.
I didn't write a book. I had to get therapy, and I had to do some reading. I had to do some research, which I think, and my family thinks, that I became a better person. So you writing this book, do you think that it has transfer? Like, do you still have these outlets? Like, is this an outlet for you? Has it changed for you? Do you still have these dysfunctional characteristic traits? that's manifested in whatever it is that you, because it doesn't go anywhere. You have to address it.
Right. Right.
So like having a flat tire, like you got a flat tire. You like this shit is and it's burning and it's smoke. Like what you gonna do?
Right.
So that's my question.
Okay, so I didn't go to therapy, and I'm too nervous to go to therapy because they might, say some shit that I can't handle. But so writing the book was therapeutic. It has helped me manage relationships a little better. I'm still working on it every day. It has also helped me realize my part in it. And so once you realize that, then you can work on it. So I know you had a long question. That's really the answer to it. Tyson, I just remembered your question actually. So I also have, shameless plug, a podcast called Designing Culture. And I interview a lot of people that are doing things. I've interviewed Tracy because she's, it's not knitting, she's crocheting. And she has a wonderful business and she's sold a lot of items, but she had to start somewhere. So it goes all the way back to her childhood. And so I'm just like reaching out to folks that I know, some that I don't, and that are willing to take the interview. So I'll have more coming, this year. And I'll, send it out to everybody. So I hope you check it out. But Monica and Tegan, hi. I thought Tegan was you, Monica. And I was like, oh no, that's not her. Okay. You guys look alike. Ashley and Justine. You guys remember Monica and Tegan?
Hey, Beanie.
When we went to Alabama, they went to Alabama with us.
Oh my gosh. I just realized that was you. Hi. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I'm surprised you didn't. So can we still call you Beanie?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I can't get rid of that name apparently, so I'm not trying to. I love it. It don't matter. Everybody calls it.
Always gonna be Beanie.
Right, always.
I do have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so considering I haven't read the book.
Okay.
I know a very small part of your life from, South Carolina. So I know that part, as a visual. But did you consider when writing a book of going under a pseudo?
No.
Name? No?
I didn't even think about it.
Okay.
No, I figured if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna try to hide and all that stuff. So yeah, I just did it.
Okay. I just think about, Zane, and is that how you pronounce her name? Mm-hmm. How she went and did whatever she did, whatever reasons. I don't even know the reasons in which she did that,
right.
Or like songwriters, they go under pseudos at times when they write. Mm-hmm. Don't really know the reasons why, but
Right.
Yeah, Stephen King uses a pseudo. That's not his real name.
Didn't even think about it. I see Denise on here. Is that part of your name, or is it a character that you chose? Dina?
I'm trying to get off mute.
Oh.
No, so hey, I have to, I read this book so long ago that I had to really actually go back and look at it. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I already asked all the questions I needed to ask from the first time I read it. So, and so it's hard I'm trying to remember. So I did pick the character from the book because, I felt that it was our relationship. Of course, we talk about the book in detail. So there's not much that I really need to ask you per se. Mm-hmm. I will say this, I am ultimately proud of you for writing because I cannot write to save my life. So anyone who has a talent to put something or their experiences down on paper and people can relate to them and follow them, it's admiring because I don't think I could do that. So I know I can't because I can't put stuff together like that. So, but I found the book to be a lot, I can relate to it. I read it very fast. I think I read this book in like a day, which is a record because I felt like Your Cousin D. It's one of those books where you kind of want to see what happens next. So I didn't put it down. I just finished it. So then we could talk about it. So I don't really have much questions, but I'm proud of you. And I tell people about the book all the time so that, they can experience what we, how our childhood was, because it is definitely a lot about how we grew up.
Right. Yes. Yeah, those were great times, and just reminiscing on the stuff we used to get into. That all that other stuff is it's definitely gonna be about.
We
used to get into stuff.
And I know it's almost therapeutic, but I think that we also had really good times. So I know you're sensitive, so I knew you was gonna cry from the time we turned the camera on, but they actually aren't sad times. Like, we had really good times and fond memories that aren't sad. Like, they're just great
times there. Well, Ebony, you just got the book, right?
No, I've had it for a while.
Have you had it for a while?
Hey, Ebony. I ain't seen you in a while. Hey,
Hi. I said the same thing to my roommate when I was like, oh, my cousin Nina on here. I said, yeah,
have you read it at all, or?
I read the beginning when I first got it, but I never finished it.
Well, thank you.
But now I have been. Well, it's honestly, that's how all the books in the house are. You on the shelves with famous authors.
I get the gist now. No. All right. Well,
no, but I definitely will sit down and give it a good read.
All right, sounds good.
I got you, and I know you'll hold me to that.
Oh, you know that. You're like, Ebony, what's up? I'm coming over.
Oh, bring me my keys. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're in the car. Tamisa, I see that you're on here. Can you hear us?
Yes. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
We can't see your
face. No, I'm chasing my grandkids. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So I know that you read the book, and actually me, you, and Dina, and I think Rhonda was on there too. We had a book club conversation about it. How did you like it or hate it? Do you have any?
Well, along with everyone else, it was like I couldn't put it down. Like, once I started it, I couldn't put it down. I had to finish it. I had to see it through. And there were so many things that I was like, wow, like that really went on and I didn't know about it. Like things that go on behind closed doors that you don't really know what's going on. I'm just appreciating, I appreciate you and Karima and Milton more so now, because I didn't know what was going on behind those closed doors. And maybe sometimes it might have felt like we were like teasing you or stuff like that, but really we didn't know. And now reading back on, looking back on it, like, wow, you, all of y'all, strong. You made it through with all the statistics of, you being young, being pregnant, not being able to make it. You made it through. Karima, you're doing great. Milton, doing wonderful. With all of that, you guys made it through.
Monika.
Yes, Dee.
I did want to say something real quick. With this book, honestly, I give you a 10. And the reason why I say I give you a 10, because of the fact that it does take a bold person to be able to put their information out there. Because I don't care how beautiful a house is on the outside, everyone go through issues. Everyone. So just reading it, it was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, that takes a lot, because there's so many households. Honestly, you don't have a perfect household anyway, but just to be able to not only tell a friend, but to tell the world what, you was going through, so I just wanted to, say that, to you. So.
Thank you very much. And it is great, like Karima said, to have like-minded people, I guess like-minded people, but when you open up to someone, like you're kind of releasing some pain, not necessarily the memory, but some of the pain. So I remember this was just like a couple of years ago. I know, actually it was last year, me and my girlfriends, Dina and Tamisa, And Rhonda, we sat around and we talked about, you know, our past. And it's things that we've never heard before from each other. And so when we've been friends for how long? 30 years, 35, 40,
over
50 years?
30 years.
30 years. And we never, like, once we walked outside to the, you know, the back street where we used to hang out, like, everything was good. All we did was play. And, you know, nothing ever discussed, like, there was no outlet, there was no nothing. You thought that you're the only one going through things, you know, because nobody talks about it. So I think it's a healthy thing to, you know, let someone know that something is going on in your life. It just helps you. It just helps you. I mean, it's too late for us now because we're all grown, but no, it's not too late. I'm just kidding. But, you know, just expressing yourself, it helps so much. And it helps you, it helps heal the other person because they might not know what to do. And they're listening to you like, you know, they'll start opening up and, you know, trying to help heal themselves. So this was, you know, this is a book also, you know, it helped me heal, you know, as I was writing it. So I appreciate God for giving me that gift because I didn't make it to therapy. I didn't go to therapy. So, but yeah, that's that. I think we're ready for another prize, another couple of prizes. Let me see. I am gonna go to the very first person that logged on today. So who was that person? You know who you are, don't you? Rhonda?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, she was the very first person that logged on today. So I'm going to.
Yay, Rhonda.
I want you to choose.
Thank you.
I want you to choose from the number 1 to 19. Choose the number. You can't win twice though, if she picks you.
1 to 19.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go with 7 because I always associate 7 with heaven, and I hope I get there. I mean, I've done some wrong in my life, but I think I have that relationship with God that I would be there. So I'm gonna go with 7.
All right, and 7 is drum roll, Morgan. Morgan is number 7. So we have.
Hey, I wanted to win a prize. I was waiting. I ain't gonna lie.
Rhonda, you're getting a $25 gift certificate to Amazon, and Dee, you're gonna get my shirt.
Yeah.
Can you see my shirt?
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah. These are for people that didn't see it.
Yes.
Good.
Congratulations on your book, your book signing. I'm proud of you, I want to say, for keeping it going. Even after the book, like some people would just let it ride, but this is a great thing you're doing this today to keep the momentum going.
Thank you.
And I just want to let you know we're still clapping for you. Keep pushing.
Okay, so Jeanette, did you talk to, Jeanette, did you talk to Brian last night? Denise said in a curious tone. After Denise mentioned that, I knew that Brian was one who brought Mary Poppins out of her. We all turned our attention to Jeanette because we were wondering, but before she could respond, the waiter came over to take our order, which included another round of mimosas. After the waiter left, we focused our attention back on Jeanette, and she pretended as if she forgot why we were all here and started to look at her phone. No, put the damn phone down and spill the beans. We want details, I said. She smiled and put her phone down. Okay. Well, after Lori was done putting me together, by the way, thank you for that. I'm always here for you, honey, Lori responded. Anyway, Brian knocked on my door and I told Lori to let him in. Then she left and he and I were in the room. We said hi to each other. I was very nervous and felt uncomfortable as hell. He told me he was sorry about my mother's passing and then continued to say she was like a mother to him. He put his hat in his hand and began fidgeting and thinking about what to say without pissing me off. So we made small talk about his family and ours, and then he started talking about his son. I immediately let my guard down because I felt guilty. Why would you feel guilty Why would you feel guilty? Aaron asked. Jeanette realized what she was saying and quickly straightened up. Well, I mean, I felt bad for what he and his son are going through. And on top of everything, his mother is strung out on drugs. He's worried about both of them, and I actually gave him my full attention without attitude. Jeanette took a moment to sip her mimosa and collect her emotions. She put her glass down and outlined the bottom of the wine glass with her fingers. I could hear the pain in her voice, and it was just as if it happened. What do you mean? Aaron asked. I never told you guys, but after the act, ooh, I don't know if I want to read. I never told you guys this, but after the accident, he came to the house and cried for hours when he found out that his son had permanent brain damage. It was like I couldn't do anything for him, but hold him and try to take the pain away. When we were together, we talked about having kids, and he talked about what it would mean to him if I had a son to carry his name on. He apologized to me. He apologized to me. Jeanette had this wounded look on her face. This man whose son is disabled and whose baby's mother is on drugs is apologizing to me. As we sat down, the waiter brought us a second round of drinks and let us know that our food would be out shortly. Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom, Jeanette said. We collectively took a drink as she walked away. Wow, that was deep, Denise said. I just want to know if they slept together last night. The girls looked at me and shook their heads. What? You know you guys want to know as much as I do. Yeah, but she had a moment, with the love of her life. Don't mess that up now. I won't. I'll wait until the second drink. After Jeanette came back to the table, we were just having random conversations. Then I felt someone kick me under the table. I looked up and the girls looked at me to pop the question. Oh, now it's a priority for them. So Jeanette, what time did Brian leave last night? I asked. The girls pretended they didn't hear the question and continued on with what they were doing. Morgan, if you want to know, just ask. Who had the salmon? I looked at the waiter as he rudely interrupted us, but he didn't know what he was doing. After he finished passing the food, I went back to my question. Did you guys sleep together last night? After I asked the question, you could literally feel the wind swooshing through the table as the girls swung their heads around to face Jeanette. All eyes were on her. No, we just talked yesterday, but those feelings came rushing back as if someone opened the floodgates. He has texted me a few times today and asked if it would be okay for him to stop by tonight. I told him that it would be fine. We all got excited for her, but I was a little worried because I saw what happened to Jeanette when they broke up, and it was not pretty. She isolated herself from family and friends. Her appearance changed her appearance changed as well as her attitude. And even though she wasn't diagnosed with it, she seemed very depressed. She showed all the signs of depression. The few encounters she had with men were few and far between, and even then, she picked some real winners. And by winners, I mean losers. So Morgan, what happened with you and Chris last night? Jeanette put the spotlight on me. What are you talking about? Well, you guys disappeared yesterday, so same question. No, of course not. He's married, I said, shocked at the question. Oh, come on. Every time you see each other, you practically want to rip each other's clothes off. The sexual tension is real. Denise, Chris and I are just friends. Plus, he has a family. Let's not forget that. The girls just stared at me because they knew our history. Okay. We walked to the park and we talked and then kissed a little. And Aaron asked impatiently, and nothing. That was it. I promise. I took a sip of my drink and tried not to let the girls see what I was feeling for Chris, knowing that our relationship would be nothing more than what it is, and having all these wonderful and loving feelings for him was so confusing. Last passage. Anybody have any questions on that? Comments, outbursts on anything? Alrighty then.
Monika.
Yes.
Now I see a lot of, what's it called, pop-up shops.
Yes.
Have you decide to do that, like in the future?
Yeah, that's what I've been avoiding for the last 2 years. And I was trying, you know, I made some efforts to connect with people, but I just like didn't, you know, pull the trigger. But yes, I'm going to start doing that. I want to start doing that. If I'm going to, you know, start selling my book more, that's what I'm going to need to do. You know, practice. And I like getting out there and meeting people and talking to people. So that would just, you know, make me feel even better. So
I think this is awesome, cousin, because there are a lot of people that do virtual book clubs across the country. So if you promote or if people want to use your book as part of their book club, then you have the platform, the virtual book signing. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and also when I send the feedback form, feel free to put any like little suggestions like that down, just so I know. Like the virtual book signing thing, that Tracy just mentioned, I didn't know, but I knew about the pop-up shops that Morgan, AKA D, just mentioned. Also, if you know of any, you know, local bookshops, you know, just let me know and I'll reach out to them to see if I can do a book signing there. I know there's one in, I think it's the Bronx called the Lit Library or something like that. So I want to actually reach out to them and do a book signing there. It's owned by, I think she's mixed with Black and Spanish. So I'm looking to, you know, do my promoting around our folks and, you know, broaden it also, but I love supporting our people for sure. And I think that's it, unless anybody has any last parting words.
I do. I'm not going to say much because like mother, like daughter, I start to tearing up, you know. I don't know where it comes from.
Everybody else was bold and brave. Go ahead, Justine.
It just happens, but I love you. I'm proud of you. And here we go. And you're my idol. That's it.
Those 3 words.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh,
that's special.
Me too.
Sharon.
Same. Hey.
Oh, Sharon was on here. You must have dropped when I was calling you out.
Hey.
Sharon, where's your face at?
I don't know. I can't get it.
Lord.
Hey, Ma.
Ace and kids and just.
Hey, hold up. I ain't get to say nothing. Hold up.
Oh, yes. Well, you've been MIA.
Yeah, you've been at this whole time, man. Come on,
I
man.
had to take care of the boys, man. But no, I know y'all probably already said it, but I'm super, super duper proud of you, Ma. You've been an inspiration, motivation for me to do what I'm doing now with my own personal brand. I just want to thank you for always being, you know, supportive, and just, you know, staying 10 toes on anything that you want to do, and accomplishing it. So I'm super duper happy for you. And the sky's the limit from here on out. And I love you.
Thank you. Love you too. That's my son-in-law, whoever doesn't know, on the call. All right. So you know what? That's it. We have 3 minutes left. I thank you once again for everybody showing up for me today. But yeah, I love you guys so much.